Hi, welcome to Grat's Guide to Anything. This is the introductory video to the series I'm creating on running D&D on the Roll20 platform. Is this series for you? I don't know. Decision will be up to you. The aim of the series is to step anyone interested through the process to get up and running as a games master, or dungeon master in D&D terms, on Roll20. But I've had to make some assumptions about you, the audience. So I've assumed that, oh, you're a bit like me. No, I haven't assumed that you're overweight, unemployed and nearly 60. I am, however, assuming the following. You don't need to be taught how to run D&D. Lots of videos on the web how to do that. You have a Roll20 account. Again, lots of videos on the web how to do that. You're not confident in setting up a Roll20 D&D campaign. You may be confident setting up a D&D campaign, but not one on Roll20. You often have newbies to D&D play in your campaigns, or your players like the detail stuff automated as much as possible. You have some spare money and don't mind spending some to make your life a little bit easier. If that's something like you, then maybe this series will help you. So, what money will you need to spend? Depends on what you want to do. I've assumed that you're willing, or already have, purchased the following. A Roll20 account. Yes, that's free. However, you'll need the Pro account to be able to follow this series completely. At the time of this video, that was about $100 a year, US dollars a year, which you can pay by the month. If you don't mind doing stuff manually, then ignore my videos on setting up the APIs and other automation, because that's what you need the Pro account for. If you don't have a Pro account, then you can't run the APIs. Also, a paid account helps Roll20 to function and allows them to have the free accounts for the players and stuff. So you actually are sort of paying for a reasonably good cause. The next item is the DM starter bundle from the Roll20 marketplace. Having this, or buying the individual bits and pieces you need separately, will allow you to run a campaign where the players do not need to purchase the books. Now, there are 3 different ways of playing D&D in Roll20. The first way, you purchase the books, create a game, and allow the players to use your books while they're playing. Second way, you and your players play the cut down version of D&D that is provided, well, free. Option 3, you run a game where each player has the option to either buy the books themselves and therefore have the online material interact with their character sheet, or not, meaning that they will need to look up in their own copy of the book any details they want to check. These are things like spell descriptions, encumbrance, weapon damage, all that sort of stuff. If you own all the books, it is significantly easier to manage your character, but it's not impossible to do without. In fact, if you are used to the old manual around a table type game, then really you can run that without anything other than, well, you can just run that without anything other than the free accounts. So in these videos, however, I'm assuming that you want to run the option 1, and that is you have a set of books which you're going to share with your players. Note that if you have purchased the physical books yourselves, this does not count as being licensed in Roll20. To fulfill the electronic license, you need to purchase the book or books from the Roll20 marketplace. Note that the owner of the Roll20 account, see above, is the only person who can share books with players. If the DM is not the account holder, then they cannot share books. Also, players cannot share books. At the time I created this video, the DM starter bundle on Roll20 was selling for about $80 US. The only issue you're going to have if you don't buy this from this set of videos is to do around the compendium and some of the other things where we're able to link. Let me encourage you that even if you're not going to share your compendium with your players, owning the books in Roll20 will save you time and effort. Let's take an example of monsters. Now the Essential Kit, as it's called, has many of the monsters from the monster manual, but not all. So for every monster that's not covered that you end up using in your campaign, you're going to have to get out your monster manual, find the monster, and then you're going to have to create this monster in Roll20, typing in the various stats, its attacks, its damage, all that sort of stuff. If you've purchased those books from Roll20, you open it up electronically, pick up the monster and drop it in your campaign. It is that simple. As a player, if you end up with, say, some weapon not covered in the Essentials pack again, you'll have to grab your book, find the weapon, open up your character sheet and create the entries in your character sheet you need for this new weapon with its damage and its attacks and stuff like that. With your license, you pick up the weapon and drop it on your character sheet. Done. And that's what you're paying for. You're paying for that ease of use. Now there are 3 other things that I recommend that you purchase. They're optional. So the first one is a product by some bloke called Keith Curtis in the marketplace, and it's called Easy Token Markers. It sells on the marketplace for about $5 US. It's designed for 5e and Pathfinder. And the issue is that the free token markers that come with Roll20, they're pretty generic, and you're going to have trouble if you're trying to use them in some spots in D&D. You just have to end up using something which really doesn't quite look like it's supposed to. But anyway, and this is to actually enable you to mark one or more tokens as being affected by something. So they're bleeding, they're injured, they're crippled, they're blinded, they're whatever. The second thing that I do recommend that you purchase, unless you actually are a bit more experienced in Roll20, and that's a module. It's called Escape from Dirge Your Mind. It sells on the Roll20 marketplace for about US $10. I found it just as a really good starting module for starting characters. The way that it's designed and built, robust, and it allows characters who don't really necessarily know much about D&D to get their legs. It doesn't really matter if you decide to use a different module. It just happens to be the one that I'm going to use for the videos, and this is the main one that I use. But again, you can just as easily be using some other module. The last optional thing that I recommend is another module, and it's called Floria. It sells on the Roll20 marketplace for about US $30. It's a good sandbox campaign for lower level characters, and I use it actually as the follow-on from Escape from Dirge Your Mind. What I've done is I've established that the mine is about 2 days or so travel from Floria, and it just allows me to seamlessly interact into it. The thing I like about it as a sandbox campaign is it allows me to find out what the players want to do. You know, do they want to hack and slash their way through anything? Oh, it's a flower display, hack slash kill. Do they like the murky depths of politics and things like that? Do they like puzzles? Do they like adventure? Do they like interacting with people? Do they want to find some tradesmen and build a keep somewhere? This will give them the opportunity for them to play around a bit and see what they actually enjoy doing. So, if all this sounds like fun to you, buckle up and watch this set of videos. By the time you have finished them, you'll have a campaign ready to play. Just missing the players. Anyway, thanks for watching Grat's Guide to Anything.